We're here at PAX Unplugged 2021. We're back. That's right. We're in person. And of course, there are many things to talk about, many things to see. But in this video, we're here to talk about what a lot of people are excited for, and that's Frosthaven.
That's right. There was a big panel here with some new details about the upcoming sequel to Gloomhaven, which should be released at some point next year, but it's hard to say with shipping these days. Shout out to Our Family Plays Games, who hosted the panel, moderated the questions and everything like that. They shared some new artwork, some new details about the game. I think we should start with the biggest real announcement of this panel, which was miniatures of Gloomhaven.
Yeah, a lot of people have dismayed that there aren't miniatures because apparently there isn't enough in the Gloomhaven boxes.
They want more.
So they announced, and they actually gave away sort of some miniatures. We'll put up pictures of the ones we got. But they are going to be releasing miniatures not just for Frosthaven, but for Gloomhaven and Jaws of the Line, so the entire series.
Yeah.
And this is mostly the things that didn't have them, so your enemies and summons.
Right.
Now, they don't know yet, or they didn't confirm what crowdfunding platform it's going to, and it seems like they said that they're going to group it up by species, but that also is not confirmed yet. I'm hoping at the very least that there's one for summons. That is the one that for me, like the standees I was fine with, but there wasn't really one for summons. I'd be willing to spend that little bit extra there because I feel like that's sort of cool to have. I feel like, you know, if you summon your rat horde or whatever, you want a little miniature of rats.
Yeah, it definitely would be a nice touch. We even subbed our own like weird rat mini from a different thing. I remember.
Yeah, I have a lot of spare things, but I think it's nice just to know like this one's yours.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and so it sounds like they're going to be selling them. It's not going to be by game, at least. It's not going to be like the Forgotten Circles box of minis, the original box of minis, because there is a lot of overlap between monster types in the games. So you're going to have to look and see which boxes you want. They definitely said it's going to be expensive and it's going to be big boxes. So this is really for hardcore Gloomhaven fans who love it, and that's like your primary game. You get tons of hours out of it. Probably if you're buying this, you're somebody who might be looking to paint these things, I'm guessing. It's going to be a really wild box, so we'll see when that launches on some crowdfunding platform. I think they said sometime in 2022, but as with everything, could be up in the air. And then a lot of the stuff about Frosthaven, you know, we kind of already know at this point, but they did show off some new artwork, updated artwork, and layouts of the cards, which I thought looked kind of cool. They do look like a little easier to read and a little flashier, more interesting than the original Gloomhaven cards.
Yeah, one of the big things for me, or two of the things that were mentioned, one of them is they designed the heroes, the characters you play as, to be a bit more balanced, because one of the issues that we came up in Gloomhaven, I know, was because we just chose characters we liked, but apparently there is you should play like optimal team styles, but they really tried to be like, okay, let's pick the most unoptimal teams for the missions and see how they run. So they designed it a bit more so you don't have to feel as guilty, I guess, knowing in advance what your team should be.
Yeah,
to me that's a big plus.
It's very big. They said that like maybe if you're playing just two people, you might run into a suboptimal, but if you have at least like 3 or 4, you're all more well-rounded. Most of the classes are going to be able to do the stuff you need them to do.
And that said, some people may be disappointed. This also means they said they cut down, like there isn't going to be nearly as like this character also nukes like an entire board because they're more balanced. They're not like you can like sort of go glass cannon, I guess, or something like that. The other thing they talked about was the box. First of all, this is going to be bigger than Gloomhaven. So,
31 pounds, I think it weighed, or 32, something like that.
Like, was it 17 punch boards? Something like that?
Yeah, I don't know, a lot.
But they did say that there's going to be trays in there that are layered. So it seems like even without like whatever you buy in advance, it's going to have a much better protection than the original Gloomhaven. Like,
yeah, and it will come with bags for the monsters and stuff like that, so you won't have to provide all your own little plastic baggies.
Not miniature ones. Remember, we're not talking about the minis.
Separate discussion for sure. They also talked about a new thing in Frosthaven, which is inspiration points, which is a thing that you'll be able to earn like after different scenarios and then later spend them to help you complete your personal quests faster and things like that.
The idea was that hypothetically, if you're playing with 4 people, you're unlocking more classes, seeing more stuff, so it's a feel bad for 2 or less. So this is a way to be like, you're still going to be seeing the same amount of content, so to speak. So once again, you can focus more on the decisions, not being as worried about trying to open in as many boxes as possible.
Yeah.
It really does feel like, to me, Frosthaven is the the upgraded version in a lot of senses. And they showed the crafting too, which I'm excited for because I love that kind of concept. They talked about how you'll be building stickers and you can upgrade locations. They showed the hunting lodge, which just a hint here they gave us, but maybe that building gives you a new character. So
yeah, the way that you see the progression of the buildings, they gradually build up as if you're playing like an RTS video game and you see the building being built up and stuff. Really looks very cool. I'm excited to see that in action. Yeah, everything looks like a general upgrade, I think, in terms of art, style, gameplay over the original Gloomhaven. The secrets book and all that stuff is really exciting to me.
There are a couple other things that were asked there at the panel as well, talking about whether there would be a Jaws of the Lion version for Frosthaven, and they said they've talked about it, not yet really. So for now, I would say if you want something that, as we said, Jaws of the Lion was much friendlier for people for entry, use that as your Frosthaven entry, and I think that should still be fine. While there are plenty of new mechanics like the crafting and stuff, my expectation is that while Frosthaven will be more complicated, just as we saw with Jaws of the Lion from Gloomhaven, I think just Gloomhaven just had a lot of rough edges that Frosthaven will smooth out, so it will still be a nice transition.
Yeah, I expect that they have learned how to make a better tutorial introductory section of the game to help new people get on board. And I think, like you said, Jaws of the Lion still will function as a good starter point if you want to get someone who's not ready to dive right into that.
And I mean, this has been said before, but characters from Gloomhaven and Jaws are still compatible within the world of Frosthaven. So if someone still likes their character from there, bring him on in.
So a lot of exciting stuff. Hopefully Frosthaven will come out sooner rather than later. I know a ton of people have been anticipating this game. I mean, it was 2 years ago at the previous PAX Unplugged, we had also a Frosthaven panel that we covered. So it's crazy that it's been that long. I have them in my trunk. I still have the Frosthaven paper crowns they gave us. But I think that this game will live up to the hype, which is saying a lot because there's a lot of hype. So let us know in the comments what you think about Frosthaven, what aspects you're looking forward to, and if you're going to go all in on that miniature set or if standees are enough for you.
Let us know. We'd love to hear from you. But until then, I'm Will.
I'm Jonathan.
And this has been PAX Unplugged 2021.
And also Roll for Crit.
If you liked this video, then like the video and subscribe to our channel. That would be awesome of you. We've also got a Patreon page, so we thank our Patreon supporters who also get access to some cool bonus content. If you want to see more of us, we are streaming live on Twitch and a separate YouTube channel every single week. Check that all out at rollforcrit.com/live.